Recorder is on.
That's great.
Yeah, let's just sniff and start right to start out with. Get this out of the way.
Clear our throats. Hi.
What's up, Caleb?
What's up, Noah?
Welcome to episode 3 of the Basement Variety Show.
I wasn't here for episode 2.
Well, me and Chris shot it this morning.
I should be in every one.
Oh. Here is audience of maybe 2.
Hopefully somebody.
Alright, so I got something
So you had, you said you had something to show me, right?
Okay. We're going to take a trip down memory lane here. I'm Noah, he's Caleb. He's my brother. Not by choice. Go with the first
By
one.
genetics. Oh, the Immortal.
You remember that
Holy
one?
shit, yeah.
Hold the camera for a sec. Anyone remember this game?
The Immortal. Where you're that wizard guy, and when you get into a battle with someone, it cuts to the black screen, and at the end of the fight, you either slice them in half or blow their head up with your wand.
It was like a Mortal Kombat fatality every time. Yeah. That's what made the game fun. But
that was an awesome game.
That
was an awesome. It was like a puzzle game too, kind of like a what's that chick?
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider. It's almost like a Tomb Raider. We had puzzles to undo and stuff.
Yeah. Wasn't always fighting. All right. So that's that one.
Is that Strider?
Nope.
Oh.
I don't know if you remember this.
Wait a minute. I
The
thought that
name's
was
on
Strider.
top. It was one
I
of the first
remember
games
it,
I
but
got.
I don't remember it.
Remember how the guy had the kick? It was the kick that went womp, 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 womp.
What was it like? Kind of like a Contra on the side view,
It
and
was
you
a
run
side
through
scroller.
things.
You were just walking as a side scroller, and like one hit would, take out anything. It was just a punch and kick thing, and you would fight bosses that were so super hard. You had to like do it perfectly to get it right.
I can't remember. No, I can't remember. I remember this picture, but I can't remember the game.
Well, on a future episode, we are going to set this up to.
Yeah, I need to see it because if I saw it, I
Okay,
might
so you don't remember that one. Okay, you obviously
That's
remember
Sonic.
this one. Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
Sonic 2.
Is that the first one? Oh, it's the second one? Yeah. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Classic. Oh, and this one, which is a classic from our time. I think we sat in the basement with our friends playing that one quite a bit.
Okay, Mortal Kombat 2. My brother and I used to sit in the basement when we were young and play this at like 2 a.m. in the dark, and it was really fun.
Did that one have Baraka on it?
No,
No, that was 3 or something.
no,
right?
no, that was later. This one was just the original characters.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
you
had a few
used to
extra.
be the ice guy. What's his name?
Yeah.
And I used to be Scorpion. Who's the ice guy? I forget his name.
Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero, yeah. Sub-Zero.
Smack you.
Sub-Zero. And I used to be, what's that? Is that Herzog's Way?
No. Remember
Oh, that was bad.
Road Rash?
Yeah.
And the Soundgarden tune?
Yeah, that was the first game that actually put real music into a game.
This old school stuff. We're going like
It wasn't just Soundgarden,
Going
was
mid-
it? Was it just Soundgarden?
mid-late 80s for this stuff. It was just Soundgarden, yeah.
And you actually have the Sega to play that stuff on?
Yes, I do.
That's cool.
Yeah, we're going to do an episode where, we'll have to bring them up and play them for a little bit. I just got to work out the camera angles to, superimpose it and such. I also got to make sure that I can stream it.
Yeah, I don't know how a TV looks on a cell phone. Might not come out that good.
No, I'll do a dual channel. Like when we're recording it live, it'll just be like this. But I'll record the recording of it, and then I can pop that in a box in post production. But
So
I can do stuff with videos and things. So, anything new in the science world? There hasn't been any new particles.
not much.
There
no.
hasn't been. It's been a lull lately, actually.
Have they started the LHC up again yet?
It is, yeah, but it's up and running.
Is it?
Uh,
For how long?
they're ramping up to.
Well, no, I mean, for how long has it been running? I know they ramped it up and they fixed it and made it stronger. And
Don't quote me on this specifically, but anywhere
roundabout
3 to 9 months ago, they
Really?
turned it back on.
So
It won't be up to speed till next summer.
Oh, so it's not up to speed yet.
Yeah, when they turn the key on, they have to wait like 14, 16 months before they're back up to running speed again.
Oh, an interesting fact about the LHC. If you were able to put a watch onto a proton, like onto its wrist,
You were saying this earlier, yeah.
and look at it, and you were going around the LHC at full speed, which is 99.99999% speed of light.
There's a 7 in there, I think, at the end.
Is there?
But somewhere. Anyways.
There could be. But yeah, close enough.
It's a close factor.
And its watch would be running 7,000 times slower, and the 16-kilometer loop that it's going around would only be 12 meters long around.
This is from the perspective of the
General theory of relativity.
well, using the theory of general relativity. That's the
That's what it
perspective
says,
of the
yes.
photon. Yeah.
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 To us, it runs at the speed it runs, you know. That's a question I've always had. Why, like, when someone else is moving in respect to you, their watch ticks off different time. But why does our watch run the way it runs? Because think about it. We're on a planet that's spinning at what, like 6,000 miles per hour, and we're going around the sun at what, like hundreds of thousands of miles an hour probably, and we're moving in the galaxy.
But it's
as a
all
whole.
relative. Like everyone on Earth is on Earth.
Yeah, but we're moving in this crazy, insane speed through the galaxy. Why does that not matter?
Because we're all moving together. The whole solar system is moving in unison.
Yeah. They
Like-
say a frame of reference. A frame of reference. If you're moving a constant speed, but when you're doing this weird corkscrew through the galaxy, how come that doesn't matter? I've never
like a
understood
corkscrew
that.
through the galaxy.
Well, because first we're spinning on the planet, and we're moving around the sun, and we're moving through the galaxy. It's like a giant weird corkscrew.
Oh, I see what you're saying there.
Why does that not matter? I've never understood that.
If I were to just going on a limb, but I would think it's because we're kind of, and you're looking in the local observation just of our solar system. Okay, so you're just looking at the sun interacting on all the planets. You know, as you get to the extreme outskirts, but there's a certain halo where you can't distinguish the sun interacting with that space or the space beyond the sun, and that's where like I'm butchering this to death, but where the technical thing of the sun's influence doesn't have an effect anymore. That's like the technical end of our solar system. So we're like in this bubble. Not bubble's maybe a bad term, but and then as we're going around our arm of the Milky Way, there is so much space.
But what about a train? Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead. No.
What about a train? On a train, when you're on a train and it's moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you want to juggle some balls, right? You don't have to account for the fact that you're moving. You know what I mean? You don't have to throw them in front of you and then catch them behind you
because they're already moving. They're moving relative to you.
You're moving all together.
Yeah.
So you can just juggle the same. The rules of juggling are the same
And the
on a
acceleration
train as they are on the... Yeah, if you
this
go
being
around
at
a
constant
curve...
velocity.
Yeah, if you go around a curve or you slow down, it might mess you up a little bit. But just being on a train on Earth, you get that same effect. That nothing else matters but you.
Elaborate, or nothing else matters. Well, as far as a frame
Juggling.
point,
As far as juggling.
yeah, as long as you're not accelerating.
Yes.
If you're
If
accelerating,
you're at a constant acceleration, even though it might like blow the wind off, blow someone's hair back as you went by, you could be going that fast, but still, you're just doing things normally.
The way I think of time, or at least the way that helps me understand what people's watches change, depending if you're, running sub-speed light, or just that thought experiment where, someone jumps on a rocket ship and they're going half the speed of light for a year and come back and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and it's like 50 years for everybody here.
Yeah, I almost
come back and you find that your wife is 50 years older after 1 year of half of the speed of light travel.
Yeah, I almost think that when you're in a high velocity, or this is a bad metaphor, and I really don't think this is a good.
Don't apologize for it. Just say it.
It's not a good scientific explanation, but this is what helps me understand what time is doing. Is if I can imagine time is like a waterfall moving in all dimensions. Okay, it's a waterfall. When we're sitting here, this waterfall is flowing upon us, but we're both in the same relative state, so our watches match up pretty decent right now. There's always the nuance, but anyway, so you get in your rocket ship and you cruise at half the speed of light or whatever. You catch up to the waterfall, so time is acting less upon you because you're in a velocity. So
that's true. That's true. The faster you move through space, the less time passes.
So think of time as a waterfall moving at the speed of light. So if you catch up to it, it's not acting upon you. So say
exactly, yeah. That's a good metaphor. That's actually a good metaphor.
For another really bad metaphor, you can imagine it.
That's actually a really good metaphor.
Imagine it as like a particle that interacts and makes time happen. That's not really what happens.
Now you're confusing people. Stick with the waterfall.
Yeah, the waterfall.
You catch up to the flow of the water.
Yeah.
And now the water is no longer affecting you.
Yeah.
You're floating in it in a solid state because you're at the same speed as it. So yes, it's like a waterfall, and if you do catch its speed, the water's no longer affecting you. That's actually a really good metaphor. Where did you learn that?
I just made it up.
Oh, well, that's pretty fucking
And
good.
also I think of it that way too, because as you age, it's almost like time is washing upon your cells, doing DNA, and your cells are starting to degrade. They can't reproduce DNA so well. I mean, that's what eventually breaks you down.
The mutations and the random things. Yeah.
And it's the act of it being around for so long that actually creates that process. I mean, we've seen some podcasts with some nutritionists that have spoken to things that can help slow or reverse this. I forget the different chemicals or whatever, but anyways, with the time thing, I like the waterfall principle.
Definitely, yes. And considering that every 7 years, 7 years, even your entire skeleton and your skin and everything and your organs are completely regenerated.
Not all your organs, though.
Yeah. After about
your
7 years. Your brain doesn't, though. That's the only one that doesn't. Your heart does too, I think. No?
There's a lot of limitations there.
Yeah, we could be wrong on this one. I could be wrong on this one, but
otherwise,
I'm not sure.
I'd cut half my lung out.
But most you should. I mean, your cells can just regenerate. So why do we ever age? It's a random mutation.
Well,
it comes from the sky. Did you know that gamma ray particles from the sky can actually knock pieces of your DNA apart?
Well, hold on. There's really good nutritionists. Yes. There's really good nutritionists and stuff that we've seen on other podcasts that explain the aging effect much better. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting process because they've been able to show in slight ways there's an idea, cheers, that could be stopped or at least reduced in acceleration and all that type of thing. I don't have enough knowledge to go into it right now. Maybe that's something that
I don't either. I don't remember
all the terms and how it was interacting and how it was helping the cells.
But
Anyway.
yeah, you'd think that because cells can regenerate, so you would think that there would be some sort of technology or some sort of evolution which could make a cell that constantly regenerates perfectly. Not perfectly, but good enough to
Well,
keep
that's what ours
the
does.
organism living for, no, I mean for
Ours
for
does
almost
good enough.
ever. We only live at luckily 100 years. I mean, I'm talking like maybe I don't see any reason an organism couldn't live like 1,000 or 1,000,000 years if it kept regenerating its cells correctly.
Look how turtles. I mean, there's potentially turtles. There's no life
What
limit on
about
them.
turtles?
You didn't know that about sea? They found this. I want to say they found there's many sea turtles they know are over 100 years old. Oh, sorry. And they've also found sea turtles that, guessing by its size, they might be a couple 100 years old. Like, they don't die. Same with crocodiles. They found some crocodiles that have
Really?
been like 80, 90 years old. Freaking monsters.
You
You don't find those anymore. You know, in the 1800s, or I'm probably going on a limb with my details here, but yeah, back in the day, hunting these giant beasts that, you know, biologists thought, you know, to get to that size, to that point, you know, the thing had to be like, or there was one that was killed, a huge monster, and you know, they go through the stomach and stuff, and they found in its body like some sort of coin or something that made it proof that the thing was over 100 years old. Some
Really?
like weird artifact of maybe some duty ate or something. But
Oh shit, huh?
yeah, there's some creatures that can live indefinitely, as far as we can tell.
Did you know what I learned just actually like yesterday? The dinosaurs were actually like not green like lizards. They were generally lots of them had feathers.
There's a lot of you didn't know about the feather thing.
Yeah, no, lots of them had feathers, and lots of them were like a cream colored or a gray or a brown colored.
Interesting.
They weren't. I don't think there were any of them that were green like you see in like Jurassic Park.
I mean, I know the feather thing they've known about for a while now, but the colors and stuff, yeah, I don't know how they infer that. I mean, I imagine that there must, yeah, but they have a reasoning and a process to understand why they have this conclusion now. But
So, what do you think the mechanism is? What do you think the Lego parts are that come together to make a human consciousness?
oh God, I don't no idea. I wouldn't know where to start there.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean,
is it? Are we an emergent product of many things, and that's our consciousness, or is there something special about us that makes us conscious?
I think it is. Well, I just think it's emergent,
Are animals conscious?
conscious.
Conscious?
Say it 4 times in a row.
Conscious.
Oh, he actually did it. I would think. I think all animals have varying degrees of consciousness. I would say whatever's
What would be
within
the
their
varying degree? Like, what would be
their
different
capacity
between
to
one
understand
and another? Capacity to what? Understand the world around them?
Yes, and that's all the consciousness they need.
So anything.
A worm only needs enough consciousness to be a worm. But obviously,
So is a worm conscious?
I would say to some
Do you
degree.
think it's self-reflective?
I don't think it has that capability.
I don't think it does either.
I think it's conscious.
It's almost like some things are almost like on autopilot, like a worm.
Yeah.
It's almost like autopilot. I'm just gonna live. I'm just gonna live. I'm just gonna live. I'm just gonna live. And you have some things which are like, I'm gonna live. I'm gonna live. I'm gonna live. But they're sitting on the beach looking at the sunset, like, this is nice. You know, I have my kids. I have my significant other, maybe if it's an animal that has a significant other.
Mm-hmm.
And where's that crossover though? Where's that crossover where you go from being a worm to being like a bird or a monkey or something like that?
It's just how much I would think it's mechanically it would have to be based on your amount of nerve power and stuff going on. I mean,
brain power
to a degree. I mean, obviously,
they
like
say
an
birds
insect.
have little brains, but
Well, like
I mean,
insects,
some birds act
bees,
almost like people.
spiders. I mean, they have an immense amount of, you know, technical instructions, I guess, in their head or programming to do what they do. You know, spinning a web, making a honeycomb, interacting with the hive.
Do you think a spider thinks about what it's doing while it makes a web? Or do you think it's just completely like autonomous almost?
I think it's more code than autonomous. Yeah. Though, but I mean, if you...
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, if you piss off a spider, it has a reaction. Oh, there's...
Well, that's
there was
self-defense reaction. That's obviously evolutionary, you know?
That is evolutionary.
Someone fucks with you fuck with them, you know?
Yeah, I saw a scientist, I forget his name, talking about that and saying how a spider reacts, you know, the saying if you're like going to step on it or shoo it away, you know, how it's going to react. That same fight or flight reaction is the way the DNA and all the nerves work. It's the same thing in us. It's the same thing that saves us when we step in front of a moving bus and we jump out of the way before we even think. It's that type of reactionary type.
Like when I dodged a lightning bolt.
Yes. Yes, when you dodged the lightning
There was
bolt.
no thought process whatsoever.
Just go.
My brain said, "You're going to die," and then my body jumped up into the air and curled into a ball. Landed face first in the rocks.
Well, that may have been brain thought, then reactionary. This is where...
No, there was no thought. My thought was run this way, run that way, and then all of a sudden it says you're going to die.
Yeah, okay, it's definitely along those lines.
I didn't even mean to jump. I just
jumped. Saying in the tests that they've done for this is they were able to introduce situations where you're forced to react faster than you can really have a thought about it. So
I've heard about that. That's a lot of the free will argument, right? Where they can test people and see if they're going to go left or right 10 seconds before they can even tell you they're going to go left or right.
Well, yeah, you have another layer of subconscious in your nervous system that will identify a threat and make you react before you have the conscious thought about it. So there's two separate systems. So you'll react before you can even have fear about it or comprehend even what's going on. That's what it's part of, and it's the same system that makes the spider react, I guess. It was this podcast I was watching. It was really interesting stuff. So there's...
What podcast was that?
Mr. R.
Mr. R?
Captain Rogan.
Joe Rogan?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, it was an old one.
Really? Do you remember the guy's name? I want to watch it.
I'll have to see if I can find it for you.
Yeah, send me a text of the guy's name.
It was it was more
discussion. I haven't seen that.
It was a real big discussion on consciousness, but more the physiology of like
what makes you conscious,
or not conscious, but yeah, it was that. But also he was more into this study of how your nerves react and how you have a subconscious nervous system that does. It basically has the ability to pick the fight or flight before you have a thought, and then it floods your and then it juices your or bad term, but basically turns on your brain system, says okay, now we're processing together, but it can react. Basically, it can make you jump out in front of that moving bus before you think of, I need to get out of the way.
Like when Jesse scared the crap out of me when I was walking down to meet him.
That's
in
a
the
good
middle
thing.
Of the night. It was in the middle of the woods, walking down the street, and I'm walking down the street, and he hid in the trees. And he didn't even make a sound. He didn't even yell or growl or anything. He just shook some branches that were like 6 feet high. And my brain thought was, okay, there's something gigantic coming out of the trees right now. And before I even could think, I was across the street in the other front yard, running across the front yard. The moment I thought, I turned to look back and saw Jesse laughing coming out of the trees.
I guess that would be a good example of it.
But yeah, like literally I did not think until I was halfway across the street. I mean, not even across the street. I was halfway across the front yard. And yeah, but also I've been robbed and somebody pulled a knife on me and tried to grab my money. And I held on and I was aiming for his chin when he decided to let go and walk away. So I don't know if I'm fight or flight. Maybe I'm both. Because when I saw the giant trees shaking, I ran like a motherfucker. But somebody with a knife about to poke me, I don't know if he would or would not. I wasn't about to let him take my money. I was about to knock him the fuck out. So I don't know what I am.
Well, I guess it would...
Maybe a mixture of both.
I think, wouldn't everyone be a mixture of both?
I guess we would, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's like a spectrum. Some people would lean more to jumping in.
Well, I could see this
more
thread.
to cowering.
Yeah, I could see this thread, but that threat was like some like insane threat. Like all of a sudden, the branches this high are moving in a tree. What does that mean? It's some gigantic animal. Like I'm gonna beat that up. I figured I could take the guy with the knife. So I was about to.
Interesting evaluation. Nice.
Back to consciousness. Oh,
consciousness.
What's new in the world? Don't want to
tomorrow
talk
will
about
be
Trump. Tomorrow's what?
Tomorrow will be new.
Yeah. So is now.
Mm-hmm.
And now. And now.
Maybe if we had a goat here.
The greatest of all time?
No, just a real goat.
Oh.
Just hanging out, sitting here.
We should have a goat. Next time we'll have a goat, I promise.
We can just feed it. Maybe we can ask a farm if they got a cute goat that we can borrow.
Goats usually aren't cute. A little weird looking.
They're kind of cute. The bigger they get, the weirder they look, though.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So we get a baby goat.
Here's the big bug eyes. A moose bit my sister once. What movie?
No, I don't know.
Look at the bones.
I give up.
No, let's not go to Camelot. 'Tis a silly place. I know you haven't seen it in a while.
Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe I missed that.
You haven't seen those in a while, huh?
You must cut down the mightiest tree in the forest with the herring.
Dun-dun.
Wasn't that the one with the chick who was like beating cats against the fucking wall?
Yeah. It was just in the background.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there holding a cat.
Yeah,
I can't remember if that was during the Bring Out Your Dead scene or when they were doing the town with the witch.
Somebody was coming in to talk to somebody in the hut or something like that, and it was like in the background.
That was when he was searching for the shrubbery. Yeah, he comes into the hut and he's like, I am a shrubber.
I am a shrubber. I arrange and sell shrubberies. Great humor. I love British humor. It's funny.
You either like British humor
or you don't. Or yeah, you hate it or you love it.
It's like Radiohead. You either like it or don't.
It is.
Same with Rush.
Yeah, Rush.
Yeah, that's another one.
I show Mike Rush, my son Mike, I show him Rush, and he's like, if it wasn't for the singer,
yeah,
I'd love it. But he's like, I showed him YYZ, which is the instrumental one, and it's like, and I showed him a couple other ones. I showed him like 2112.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it's got all the good drums and stuff, and he's like, yeah, it's good, but I just can't get past the singer. That's kind of how I was at first, when you and Chris were listening to it. I mean, Mike Seaver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, when you and Mike were listening to it, I'm like, I just couldn't get past the singer, and then I ended up falling in love with Rush. I love Rush.
Yeah, Mike pretty much introduced me to Rush too, and the singer was a little off, but yeah, once he got past it, it was fine.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it's
it
a little
doesn't even faze me
strange.
now.
It's a little strange that he's such high pitch like that, but I enjoy the music. I love it.
He's a good singer.
Yeah, he can
He
sing.
just has a high
He's
range.
just got a weird sounding voice.
I mean, like trying to sing and cover them. Then no, there's no. There's. Well, I know you don't go out as much as I have back in the day, but there is no Rush cover bands.
I'm not surprised. Who's gonna cover Rush? Jesus Christ! Have you seen some of the Neil Peart's stuff that he's been doing lately?
No,
Not lately, but maybe 8 or 10 years ago.
no.
He was on the Tonight Show, or he's on this or that, but he has this drum thing that he does. It's like a 10-minute just drum solo that he does on this gigantic drum set that spins around and stuff. He gets up at one point and it spins, and he sits on the other seat and goes into this half, and then he gets up and goes back to the other half, and it's really amazing. It
What I've
really
seen
is.
him
I gotta
for-
show you that video.
It wasn't the Roll the Bones tour. It was the next album.
You
after.
saw them, didn't you?
Yeah, it was like '96.
Where did you see them?
That was at. Where did I see him at?
It was in Granby, so.
Yeah, I drove down. Yeah, it was the Hartford Civic Center.
Oh.
Yeah, and that was a good show. They played. What I was gonna say? Yeah, Neil Peart did a huge drum solo for 10 minutes straight.
Yeah, he always does. He
Yeah.
always does, yeah.
But he
He's
basically was
amazing.
just encapsulated with drums.
Yeah,
also,
they're completely around him.
Yeah.
Did you know that he writes all the music and lyrics for the most part?
he's pretty much a composer.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I'm not sure if he does all the melodies though, but I know he does most of the lyrics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does most of the lyrics. He does a lot of the writing of the music and stuff.
Have you seen pictures of David Gilmour lately?
He looks so old.
Well, he is so old. I love the guy.
How old is he? He's got to be 70, dude.
Oh, check your phone. Let's see. Before you guess, what do you think it is?
I'm going to guess that he is 68.
I'm going to guess he's 76.
Okay, Google. How old is David Gilmour?
David Gilmour is 73 years old.
What'd you say?
I said 76.
And I said
68.
68.
Right in the middle.
So that's 5, and you're
5.
4 away, so you won.
I won.
Wow, he's 73. He's old. I missed that last concert you went to. I never. I thought they would play again.
That was
I thought they would play again.
And that was like a last chance